very good morning from wherever you're watching and listening us from. This is AFarmers Media, and of course the show is the Week in Review with me, Brian Mwenda.
I'm Danam Dega.
James Mirara. Yes.
Hujakuita Marara leo.
Getting the name.
So much energy today. I don't know why, but then I think being on a Saturday,
it's a weekend.
It's on a weekend.
It's a weekend,
Yeah.
where you come and review some of these things that have happened of the week.
Yeah.
Of course, and of course, shout out to I would say director, Madam Producer,
Operator.
behind everything that's happening. Of course, Mercy is doing such a good job, and thank you very much for being part of us. And of course, this week has been one of those weeks in terms of agriculture and politics.
Yeah.
You know, really interesting, right?
Yeah.
And of course, well, before you can even start reviewing different things that have been happening, of course, you can be part of this conversation on AFarmers Media, on Facebook, AFarmers Media, on Instagram, AFarmers, of course, on Twitter, AFarmers Media, on YouTube, where we have so much content that you can always talk about. And of course, lady and gentlemen, welcome, of course, to the show.
Just use guys.
Or rather, you'll confuse me being a lady and then a gentleman.
No.
Are you saying I look like a man by
No,
any chance?
no.
By
I'm
any
saying
chance?
Dan might confuse.
No.
There was a day that I was introducing Mr. Noah to one of the interviews that we had with him.
Yeah.
And okay, I know he has 15 years in experience, but then now I said he is 15 years, and then now I locked. I don't know.
That's
You
when
know,
you
so
realize,
okay,
I will
15
choose.
years.
15 years in experience, that will be bad.
Inexperienced, like it doesn't have experience.
So-
Like it's 15 years old.
Yeah, and then actually that is what he was fearing.
Yeah.
Budo anataka kunintroduce ka 15 years old.
It's either he's 15 years old or he's 15 years
In farming.
like in experience,
Yeah.
inexperience, like
Yeah. In his
Really?
experience of farming.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, we want to carry on that energy throughout the show, and you can be part of us, of course, but dropping down what stood out for you. Of course, what did stand out for you this week? Politically, anything?
If you talk about politics, we can talk the whole day.
No. I don't want a conversation for the whole day, guys. No.
Okay, this one that I pick about farming, about Carrefour. Is it Carrefour? Can you come? Carrefour.
Carrefour.
That
It's called
one.
Carrefour.
Yes. They were saying that they are not going to buy chickens that are being abused. So I was like, wait.
Abused.
Yes, actually, the article read that the Carrefour is not going to buy chicken that are being abused. So I was
Eggs
like,
or chicken?
I think the eggs.
It's the eggs coming from chicken that are
eggs.
caged.
Yeah, no. I think they were meaning caging is being like.
It's part of animal abuse.
Yeah, I think I was like, are they just looking for an excuse so that they don't buy? Because
No,
listen,
No,
an
actually,
abuse,
yesterday.
abuse is a very strong word.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you tell me that
Abuse.
because I've caged the bird, I'm abusing it, then it's such a strong word.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were talking with Brian, and I highlighted something, or rather I sold something out to the farmers, that when you rearing chicken, there are two kind of chicken you're rearing. There are those that are caged, which you rear them in the house, and there are those that you just keep them, and then in the morning you open, in the evening they are back. Hizi sio kuku ambazo unazifungia. Hizi ni kuku kienyeji.
Okay.
Yeah. Na kuku kienyeji simanyishi ile kienyeji nyingine.
Yeah.
We are too much into memes.
Absolutely.
We are too much into memes,
Yes.
and then we go out of context because of a word.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for those caged, I think even their eggs, they are high nutritious and high content of proteins. So I think Carrefour, they have a meaningful way of getting now to these other people who are rearing chickens, which are coming in an extinct in the market.
Yeah.
You get?
Don't you think we can just accommodate all of them?
Actually, you can.
It's
part of what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because that is what stood out for you. What stood out for you this week, before you can, of course, go into the topics, narrow down into the topics now?
Actually, what stood out, apart from now politic hits, it's on the farm.
Okay.
Where we see like now our CS is engaging much with the farmers, and I'm very happy because of that.
Yeah.
At least I can see we are moving in the right direction as a country where we know we can rely on agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, these are very many topics that we want to discuss, of course, and we want to look at them comprehensively, how they were covered, and of course, draw in our own thoughts about them. And of course, we start with the first story where the Ministry of Agriculture is, of course, asking for your opinion, well, before the planting season comes in. Now, the Ministry of Agriculture did post this on Twitter, saying that we're looking to address the challenges of farmers during the tough period. We request and encourage our Kenyan farmers to present their views, challenges and positive development on agriculture in our country. As a farmer, what are some of the items that you love to be addressed? And of course, the Ministry of Agriculture is looking into getting in some feedback from different farmers. Of course, it's that time that people now are planting, or there's some rain coming in. And of course, now the first question, well, do you think the feedback will be heard anyway?
There's a difference when it comes to saying something. If you ask me today, what do you want? Does it mean you're going to give me what I'm telling you I want?
But that can help me plan.
Yeah, it can help you plan. But how long again are you going to plan? So that's the question. Like, yes, today you have asked me, Diana, how are you? Do you feel like eating chicken? And you're like, yes, of course I feel like eating chicken. You have asked me. You see?
Your opinion.
But for what I want. But when I tell you I want chicken, then you're like, I thought you just want coffee. I could have just taken it from the coffee machine and then give it to you.
Okay.
It's like my opinion or my whatever I feel, whatever I want will not. It doesn't matter if I've told you. So I don't think it's going to make any impact after that it has been said, because don't they? Do you think they don't know what farmers are going through?
Isn't it part of the public participation where
my thought are it will take time, but eventually the cry of a farmer would be heard someday. That's my thinking, because you don't get a kid today and tomorrow they're 18 years old. So it will take a time. It's a process. They will integrate all those thoughts of the farmer to come up with a conclusion or a product that might help a farmer. Because today you're asking me what are some of these items that I would like to be addressed. My problem maybe it's in part of feeds. You're in part of maybe farming or rearing pigs and stuff. You have problems there. So maybe feeds are your challenges. My challenges are chicken feeds. Diana's challenges, maybe it's growing tomatoes and stuff. You see, we are different farmers here in a country, but now the government is asking us, what would you want to be addressed? We have different challenges as all of us, but the government is asking all of us, not a particular farmer.
Okay.
So all of us, our cry will be heard, and the government will take consideration of all of us. So it will take some time. But so, I believe when they asking this, even the counties are also on lookout, because the county will first help their counties, and then the national government come in.
So of course, once we do talk about public participation in some of the challenges affecting farmers, we cannot forget that we are approaching a planting season, where the cost of farm inputs, as we've heard, is a little bit high, and of course, quite a few things, even the weather patterns a little bit. They will have some according to feedback from here, they will have to hear more information about the weather feedbacks and everything about that. Do you think the most antagonizing thing that I've heard from the market is the high cost of fertilizer? Of course, the government has always been saying that it is a global problem. Of course, in terms of the COVID, they say COVID recovery has had some issues on the supply chain. And of course, apart from that, there's always been a problem with the containers also. You know, there's always been a problem even with the geopolitical war that's happening in between Russia and Ukraine. What do you think the government should do about fertilizers? Because it's one of the feedback that farmers will love to give.
First, I'll start by saying that them asking, I feel that they're just playing public relation, because this is a part whereby, when do we plant? This is the month you're supposed to plant. And then you're asking me,
on the month I'm planting.
The month that I'm planting. Why couldn't you have asked me December, so that you plant this time and then you see what you can do? Like, this is the month, I'm telling you, mi nataka 10,000 size. Okay, 10,000, where do you arrange that one from? Today, between now and tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm planting. Okay, next week I'm supposed to plant. If today I say I don't have fertilizer, honestly, the farmers are so many. How are we going to ensure that these farmers are going to get this fertilizer throughout the country, when you have just asked the week that they're supposed to be planting and others have already planted? You see, like, government planning should, public participation for that matter, should come a bit earlier, so that the government plans. They could not have asked this question right when we are planting. Or right when the people have already planted. Actually, the people have already planted.
So you think the timing is a little bit off track?
Off track, kabisa. Because even if they are saying, just as Mirara said, it will take time. Time is what we don't have. And apart from not having time, because time is limited. Right now, if it starts raining, by next week, all farmers would have planted. They will plant, either the government has heard their cry or not. They will do it. So I don't think the government is even out there, like the ministry is out there to really help the farmer, but just to make sure that maybe with time they will help. But right now, or this season, I don't think they will help. Going to the next one, the one that I've just said, the most antagonizing thing is the high cost of fertilizer. I don't think that is the most. Look, fertilizer, we don't eat fertilizer. But what about those commodities? I think the most antagonizing is the prices of food, because food is basic. Food is basic, like basic. Because
don't you think that is coming from the Ministry of Agriculture? Where they can play their role is in the food prices, is by reducing the cost of farm inputs.
You see, I'd like to differ with what Diana have said. When you talk about the prices of foods, definitely you would be going back now to the implements and then the supply chain of the inputs. Because we need to understand where we're getting these raw materials or we are getting these fertilizers. But again, the government need to understand the farmer. A Kenyan farmer is let me use a Kenyan farmer. A Kenyan farmer is someone maybe who would have general information, and most of them don't rely on their maybe agronomist or maybe their extension officer. So these people have grown knowing the traditional way. So maybe the use of fertilizer, they just apply because it's sometimes used. You get. So we need to understand if the government is coming in between the farmer and now the supplier of fertilizer, they need to regulate the price, not hiking the price when the farmer is going to plant in a few weeks time.
What would you ask from the government? You being farmers, of course, right now you're also farmers. What would you ask? Let's start.
Right now, I just asked for the price of food to be lowered, because I'm looking at the situation between right now, between now and maybe in the evening. I can't even spend a day without eating, and if I manage to spend a day without eating, then the next day I'll be so weak, and then the next day I'll be so weak. So I think you are going to, this lowering the farm input, it is the basic that has caused all this hiking of food prices. But again, what is so important right now is that the nation is able to feed, the nation is able to have food. And with the increased prices of everything, right now the price of 20 liters of cooking oil is 6,500. it is 6,000.
Mhm.
That is the price of 20-liter cooking oil. That is 6,500. This was being sold around 2,800 back. 6 months ago, 7 months ago, it
Wow,
was
wow.
2,800. You tell me right now, how am I going to afford this one? I have an hotel right now. Hata hiyo mafuta kweli nikichukua hiyo 20 liter, am I even going to make my returns? Because hiyo food tayari ime-increase kabisa, yani hizo prices, everything has increased, everything
So of course
maji imepanda.
Chumvi imepanda.
No, hata chumvi. Maji yenye hawa watu wanachota maji inapanda aje? Is it that you're just taking advantage of everything or every situation? Maji penye nanunua kila siku naambiwa sasa maji imepanda. Surely maji imepanda. Kwa nini maji inapanda? Maji kwa nini inapanda?
For me, I think what I would ask now the government, not a particular body of the government, but the entire government, is to lower the taxation on everything. Because once you've taxed even the salt, you see now the prices start hiking up. And there are those people like Dana, she have said, they take advantage of very little thing that they get. Any chance they get, they run with it.
Okay.
So taxation, if you put taxation on a farmer and they implement, and then the prices they are getting or the prices they are selling their produce out there, it's not imaginable, or it's not something they can rely on, then definitely the whole country will suffer. Because, Brian, I'll ask you this. There is that farmer or vendor, mama mboga, who goes to the shamba, buys the vegetables and come and sells. You want to tell me the prices are still the same now? They're not the same. Because how she buys and how she packages this skuma or cabbages or spinach, maybe you could find a handheld, a full hand. But now you're finding three sticks or 3 stalks of skuma. You're selling it at 5 shillings. You get?
Not even 5 shillings. I bought the other day. It was 4 of them at 10 bob.
You hear?
Because I'm the only one. So I just said moja ya 10 bob itanitosha. I was surprised there were. First I was like, hata hii sasa nikikaanga sitaishia kwa
You hear?
sufuria.
No,
Ya kuonja
the
before
taxation
time,
it's coming to the lower part of these other farmers, even the low scale. So lower any taxation that is maybe a burden to the farmer.
No, but
Yeah.
let me ask you, where does the buck stop? Because I'm here thinking, you bought four stocks of skuma wiki at 10 bob.
for just leaves.
I'm trying to imagine, where did the price hike? Was it at the mamamboga level? Was it from the brokers level? Was it from the farmers level? Or even did the farmers suffer as a result of the farm input?
We'll go back where when the hashtag lower the food prices started. Farmers, some of them came out and said, we are not the one to blame. We are not the one.
So
to
farmers
blame
are even
kabisa.
not being part of these.
That's what I'm telling you.
Uh-huh.
A farmer, the prices farmers are getting, I'd call them peanuts.
Peanuts.
You get? Because even when the food prices were not higher, the farmer was getting the same cost of what they are selling the prices to. You get? Now the middlemen are coming to disrupt the whole market. Because mimi nitakuja, nimepata broker. I'll go to a broker, nikifika sokoni kwa mama mboga, broker ako kwa shamba, mimi ni broker mwingine. I'll hike my prices. Now when it gets to mama mboga ule wa kibanda, it's way too much. She need to make a profit there. She's not a farmer.
The investment she has made,
You get?
she has to make. To
So
make
when everyone is running for profit, the farmer is suffering
the same way.
the same way.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to be part of the next story because it's also the high cost of living.
Yeah.
Where, of course, now if you've been consuming diesel in any way or using diesel or petrol, this week you've paid 5 shillings more for every liter. Of course, because now you'll have to, or already are paying 5 shillings more for every liter of diesel and petrol you're buying going forward. This is after the Energy and Petroleum Regulating Authority has announced an increase on the price of super petrol and diesel by 5 shillings each. Now, the latest increase was announced on Monday, the 14th, comes 5 months later after the last hike in petrol prices last September, as the petrol prices stabilization mechanism fails to hold ground this time. A liter of super petrol will now cost, or is now even costing, 134 shillings and 72 cents in the capital here in Nairobi, while diesel is now costing 115 shillings and 60 cents per liter. Of course, users of kerosene have not been spared in the recent hike, with the prices of commodity holding. Now, we are farmers.
Yeah.
I want us to consume this information from the farmers level. What effect are you seeing a direct effect on?
The direct effect on oil or the fuel prices comes when the farmer is maybe harvesting and now the farmer is ready to take the produce to the market.
You mean logistics?
Logistics.
Okay.
Because you have to know how to move from point A to B, and you're transporting with maybe the matatu means or lorry or tractor or pickup. Mind you have to fuel this car. You get. And my question is, we sometimes back we had the government announcing we have the Ngamia 1, the Ngamia 2 in Turkana. They're producing oil. My question is, where does that oil go to?
Well, do you think the government is trading too much oil? Because, again, this has always been my question. Is the government trading so much with the aim of making so much revenue to even, well, service the national debt? Because at that level, where you're trading so much and forgetting the people you're trading from and the people who are supposed to benefit. You see, a country like Libya 100% consumes fuel from its own, you know?
Yeah.
Then when it reaches a point where now you have to export fuel and then now import again for some reason or another, because now you're in business so as to raise revenue to pay the national debt and part of
when you
debt
put
obligation.
when you put it that way, I'd say at some point, and this I'm directing it to the government. At some point, the ignorance comes in. We don't want to exploit or to explore on our own, because if we have oil in our country, then why not first deal with that, execute 100%. There are a lot of engineers in Kenya. I think we can refine that.
Yeah.
We have refinery stations inside the country. We can use that what we have first before importing any other. Because if you check a country like Nigeria and Libya, they have used their resources well in production of oil, whereby like someone like Dangote, he have employed over 300,000 youths in the refineries. So when Kenyans are singing we have no jobs, we have no employment, then I think we are lacking the essence of our own use in employment.
Okay.
Because if we have the raw material to do that,
Yes.
or the drills, because I assume there are people who are benefiting from what we have here, and it's not something to lie. Few people are benefiting, and it's not what it was intended to.
Let me ask you, as a farmer, Diana,
Yes.
you're in this case where you do transport your produce from your farm to the market, and part of it is maybe your logistics are always catered for. You're the person responsible for catering for your logistics. I'm trying to imagine that farmer, that Mira farmer in Meru, who has always been well, they buy from them. Of course, the pickups, of course, that you see there, the buyers buy from them. Of course, now the pickup has to be fueled from Meru to somewhere like Lamu, Mombasa, of course, 5 shillings more per liter. You see, one liter might go close to 40 kilometers. Now, the distance that you cover from here,
Meru
maybe to Meru,
Mombasa.
from Meru, I would say close to 600 kilometers, 600 kilometers. And then, of course, you did cover 1 liter covered 40 kilometers. Those are 15 liters. Is it 15 liters?
That's 24,000. Let's say 24,000 liters. Because you say
Actually, should.
600 times 40, which is 1
Oh,
liter.
600. Oh,
Yeah. So it's 24,000.
Yeah, it's 20.
Yeah.
Actually, let's do these rough
Do the
calculations.
mathematics.
Let's do these rough calculations. Actually, I want to believe you can look at your Google map.
Yeah.
Say from Maua to Lamu
Yeah.
or to Mombasa.
Yes.
Just look at that, and then we can calculate. Now 1 liter goes for close to 40 kilometers. Yeah, that's a normal car,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine that. Okay, how about the 600? How much?
I'm
the
actually looking at the distance between Maua to
Maua to of course to Lamu or Mombasa?
Maua
Okay.
to Mombasa.
Yes.
Let's say Maua to Mombasa. Then see how far we are getting.
It should be close to 600 there.
Just see and say.
Of course, even with going roughly with something about 600 kilometers, of course, this means that you're going to have
Actually, it is a 700 kilometers.
700 kilometers.
And it takes around 11 hours, 51 minutes.
Yes.
Now, if you are going, I don't know what speed you are going, but it takes around, let's say, even if it goes so fast, the minimum is 11 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, now I'm trying to see here that right now, if you're going to cover 700 kilometers, it means that you're going to have about 18 liters.
Yeah.
You know, in 18 liters, and somebody is buying at, of course, the fuel price is right now, the cost of diesel
130
is something 115, right?
Yes.
We're doing fine, huh?
Yeah, we are doing well.
Times 115, that's close to, actually, that's even, it should be even more.
Yeah.
Should be even more. Of course, because this is just one trip.
Yeah.
And
So
the
it's
trip,
to and fro.
now it's to and from.
Yeah.
Because either way the pickup must go there and
Come back.
come back either way.
Yes.
Because
And of
it
course-
needs to to be a chain that it's going, deliver, come back, then tomorrow morning go again.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
it's not like today I'm going to make money and that's it.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, what about tomorrow? So you need to account like a whole week to know how much these drivers are using.
Yeah.
Because if you say me when I knew how to drive a car, the retail price for petrol was around 84 shillings. Yeah, 84. But now it's a burden because if a farmer is getting the produce maybe from Nyandaro to Mombasa, because most of them take their produce to Mombasa, you see, it's a burden to a farmer who needs to take his produce,
Yes.
and then the cost of produce, it's not making any profit.
Actually, I think
Yeah.
we got it wrong somewhere. I'm trying to see here that 1 liter should go to 2.55 kilometers for a truck.
Yeah,
2.55 kilometers. That's 1 liter. You know, at some point, let's even calculate at 5 liters or 5 kilometers per liter. And now you have to go 700 kilometers. That's 140,
Yeah.
right? That's 140 liters that you're using from Meru to
Mombasa.
Lamu, for example, Mombasa. And of course, now if you're going to calculate that, you can calculate with 115. You're going to use close to 16,100 shillings
Yeah.
right now. But then, if you're going to calculate way before, you're using close to 15,000.
Mhm.
That's a 1,000 bob
Yeah.
on top of the business.
Yeah.
And you know, even this 1,000 bob goes a long way even to paying the turn boy or even the
And again,
And the service.
the same,
Yeah,
the
the
same,
servicing and
the
everything.
same case. I need you
and
to
that's
check.
only one trip, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
and,
only one
and,
trip.
and now when you're going from one county to another, you have to pay levies.
Of course, there's always
You
double
see,
taxation that
yeah.
comes with it.
Every
You see,
county that
no,
you enter.
that's why I told you we need to regulate from the tax
Yeah.
point of it. Because you don't need to tell me like I'll get my eggs from Nairobi to Mombasa. I'll pass by like 5 counties. You see, from Kiambu to Mombasa.
Yeah.
So it's a burden to me as a farmer,
Mm.
and that's why you see most young people are fearing. You see, first of all, they don't have enough information. Secondly, the capital, they cannot get enough capital. The bank can't loan them, or the circles they are in, because they fear. You don't have any guarantee this young farmer will make it. You see?
So you feel that the high cost of diesel is going to affect farmers who are transporting?
Yeah.
But also remember that the farmers who use for irrigation too.
That's
Yeah,
even
so,
another cost
yeah.
on their like. on their
And most
part
of them,
because,
they don't
what
use...
is driven to what drives this? Okay, let's say those
The
who are using the
machines.
machines.
Yeah.
They are being driven by this petrol, diesel, particularly, especially back in place. We use generators.
Yeah, because you're popping from the river.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
popping from the river. We are using generator. This generator requires petrol. So we have to get petrol. So you can imagine the amount that I'm putting in petrol. I have like an acre of land. I have to really make this farm like very, very watery, so that it stays around 3 days before I come back. And then when I come back again, it is the same. Like I have to use the same amount of petrol to do the same. So it becomes so expensive even for that farmer. Now that the rains are very unreliable, it becomes very difficult for us, for any farmer out there, to make sure that they're staying in their limit. Though when now, actually, when they come to the farm, when those people come to the farm to take to buy those veggies, the farmers are very exploited. The other day there was a lady who came by. She wanted to buy spinach. She asked like, how much are you selling? Now it is in the farm. I told her I'm going to sell her a kilo. I'm going to sell her at 30 bob. That's a kilo. I'm going to sell her at 30 bob. Do you know she refused to buy? And this is a kilo. I'm selling her at 30 shillings.
A kilo. Let's break this down. A
Yes.
kilo might have how many stocks?
Okay, a kilo. Now this is the farm. Actually, I've never been very keen enough, but a kilo, it's a bit yani ni ile yenye unaweza shika hivi kwa mkono. Mind you, mtu ukienda pale kwa kioski kupata those 3 leaves are 10 bob, but zangu ni around 15 leaves. Atake hata kunipatia hiyo 30 bob. You see, like yeye anataka nimpatie a kilo at 20 bob. Yeye akifika pale kwa soko anauza hiyo kilo, anatoa like even 100 bob. Like it's so farmers are suffering from the extent that they are being exploited by those people who are just coming there kutoka pale kwa shamba. Same thing when brokers come in. Unapata broker anakuja and like, hey, market imeharibika bro. So whatever we are going to get here, hata mimi siende kupata faida yoyote. And then there is that chain that people are supposed to follow. If you just go directly, I wish we could be just selling directly to those consumers. But now that we have to follow a certain chain, then that is even exploitation in another level, because this person is coming to you is not a farmer. Yeah, amekuja kununua kwako product, tuseme vegetables or those whatever. And then akifika kwa soko, kuna ule broker mwingine wa soko. Yeye aende direct. Kuna huyu broker wa soko sasa. Huyu broker wa soko naye anamwambia, hapa hivi venye kuko, ni kama hiyo price nimchukulia last week, I'm going to reduce. This guy has to accept because this variety. Farmers have If you just have time and then walk around Kitengela market on Sundays,
Yes.
then you'll see the exploitation people are going through.
Yeah.
Hizo nyanya na whatever hoho zinauzwa by then zinauzwa 5 shilingi 20. 5
From the farm.
Now this is the farmer ameleta pale 5 kwa shilingi 20 and they are large. Ukifika pale kwa mama mboga moja hivi anakuzia 15 bob.
15 bob.
Yes. 15 bob. Hizo like I was like, hey, hizi vitu simi ununua 15 bob. Actually I was like, how much are you selling that? And then she was like, 5 na kupatia kwa 20 bob. I was like, where? And I'm seeing those women who sells me vegetables, they're there. Now they're taking from there. Now when they're coming back hapo kwa nini yao, kwa kibanda yao, they're selling at a very different kabisa. Because you can imagine, even the same thing as tomatoes. Tomatoes was going for 5 at 20 bob. Ukikuja pale kwa kibanda moja ni 10 bob. So how much is she making? She's making out of the 20 bob, she's making 50 bob.
Yeah.
So you see, like she's making an extensive profit.
So you think the well, in the value chain, the I would say broker, the intermediary,
Yeah.
is quite the issue, together with the retailer.
The intermediary and the retailer, those people are the issue, because we are not expecting that it becomes so obvious that the farmers is being exploited here, because actually from that day mi sijawahi nunua mboga tena pale. I'd rather just wait on Sunday, do my shopping in bulk and then stay there, because looking at them I just see exploitation.
Absolutely.
I rather go to the market, promote that farmer.
Okay.
But
Diana, yes.
how many customers, buyers would at now the current situation would go to the market and buy that? Because I see most of them around my area buying from now mama mbogas, and you could find someone is calling from the office, hey, how are you? I'm fine. I need like mboga this much, ndapitia nikichukua.
You see now that now narrows down to where do you even get that time? Like me, I can get time. That's why I can go there.
You see, for you're saying on Sundays. I don't think everyone works on Sunday. Even here, we don't work.
We don't.
Yeah, on Sundays.
Now that is the market day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's a market day. So when you go there and then you see how farmers are selling their produce, and the way you will find it, the way you will find it in the retail.
Yeah.
Now in the mama mboga, it's totally different.
Okay, I get you.
That's what I'm meaning.
I get you now.
Very different.
Yeah. Okay.
Hapo kwa mboga, kwa soko, prices are okay, goods are okay.
Yeah.
But now, even it now has to make sure that
Yeah.
it reaches mama mboga, and then mama mboga has to knock you off with their prices. Hizo 4 leaves,
Yeah.
utapata kwamba anauza for 4 leaves 10 bob, when she actually has taken around 20 of them
Okay.
at 10 bob or even 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, now, of course, before we can take this short commercial break, we've been talking about the high cost of living.
Yeah.
And right now, farmers are looking at maximizing on the little they have. And of course, one of the ways to maximize on the little that you have is using the pesticide right.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot afford to misuse pesticide right now, where the cost of even the pesticide itself is a little bit high.
Yeah.
And of course, once you have bought your pesticide, it's always good to ensure that the label is very important. Soma lebo yako.
Yeah.
Of course, check for the label to ensure that it has a valid expiry date and batch number. Of course, the batch number always ensures that there's some credibility. You can trace.
The
Because
expiry
date.
and also best before. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are the things that you should be looking at, the batch number.
Okay.
At that batch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, ensure the label is clearly visible and intact.
Yeah.
Ensures there's no tampering. There's no tampering on the product. Always follow the label instructions on usage, safety, and handling of pesticides.
Actually, that's the best important thing.
Yes.
Anyone, not including the farmer, even when you're doing maybe with insecticides like Dudiako, the Mendes and stuff, you need to read the instruction very careful to understand how they use and what not to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
you might underuse, you might overuse, and might be not effective.
Actually,
At the end of the day.
that's wonderful. For the thing is, when you're using it and you don't read the label,
Yes.
there's a time we actually sprayed my house because I was getting rid of some insects.
Okay.
And I did not even read the labels because I was in hurry. And I was supposed to stay out of that house for 2 good days. Yes, that pesticide is so strong, so I was supposed to stay in the out of the house for 2 days. So it is recommended that you spray during the weekend, where you can spend in another place, so that you come on Monday when it is less harmful. You see, I was very sick after that because later on I realized that it was that I got a blocked chest and I was really having difficulty in breathing because I had read the instruction. I was supposed to stay out of the house when when I had sprayed, but now that's one of the effects that we don't read the instruction and we end up really getting affected by it.
All right. Of course, we take this short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories. Of course, we have we'll be looking into that have, of course, happened this week. You can be part of the conversation on Africa Farmers Media on Facebook, Africa Farmers Club on Facebook. Still, you can also go to our Twitter account, of course, where we are AFarmers. AFarmers also on Instagram, and of course on YouTube. You can also search as AFarmers Media. We take this short commercial break. We'll be back with more.
Celery is a marshland plant that comes from the same family as carrots and parsley. It has long, firm and pale green fibrous stalks and grows in bunches of approximately 8 to 10 centimeters. The stalks taper into leaves at the top. When planting celery, it's best to ensure that the soil is enriched with compost and with a soil pH of between 5.8 to 6.8. It is also important for celery to grow in moisture-retentive soil. Lastly but not the least, select a site that receives full and direct sunlight. Celery needs about 130 to 140 days to mature between seedling and harvest. Growing celery is generally considered to be an ultimate vegetable gardening challenge. It's easy to grow, but has very specific needs.
A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit, and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained.
Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. This means adhering to the correct pesticide recommendation for effective pest management. Apart from selling farm inputs aimed at increasing crop and livestock productivity, agro dealers advise farmers on how to use them responsibly.
Pesticides should be used in the right way. You buy the right pesticides, and if as a farmer you are not sure where to buy, at least you can contact your local county extension services who will be able to give you the right information on the type of pesticides that you need to buy based on the problem in the farm and how to actually mix it, or what we call dilution, and spray it, so that in the end we can all assure ourselves that the food that we are using or we are eating or we are going to harvest or grow are safe.
Agro dealers play a significant role in guaranteeing that farmers have access to some of the essential agricultural inputs that contribute to boosting agricultural productivity in a safe and environmentally sensitive manner.
Habari yako? Nzuri sana mama. Naendelea salama? Kwa salama sisi. Sasa mimi niko na shida. I have some diseased crops.
As an agrovet, when attending to farmers, ensure you ask the farmer as many questions as possible to correctly identify the farmer's problem. Most agro dealers are familiar with farming inputs and can therefore recommend a particular pesticide for a problem that a farmer may be facing. However, it is important for agro dealers to ensure that they get as much information as possible from a farmer before recommending a specific pesticide. By asking for background information like what kind of crop is involved, what kind of pest damage, what is the physical appearance of the pest, when and what kind of measures has the farmer already taken. Questions will inform the agro dealer on the nature and severity of the problem and the need for intervention to ensure that the recommendation of pesticide is effective.
Most farmers, I would say that they may not understand or they may not be able to read the labels. So this is the responsibility of the agrovet attendant, to read the label and to interpret to the farmer, because the label has different instructions. It has instructions like the active ingredient of that pesticide. It has the mode of action of that pesticide. It has the rate of application of that pesticide. It has pre-harvest and pre-harvest interval of that pesticide. So if this information is not shared with the farmer will end up using the pesticide in the wrong way and also on the wrong crop.
Improper use of pesticides gives rise to potential health risks to both farmers, consumers, and is a risk to the environment. Make a pesticide recommendation based on pesticide efficacy and good farm practices as opposed to purely business reasons. Agrovets are businesses and should be considered as such. However, dealers should also beware that they have a duty towards the farmer and should endeavor to be truthful and trustworthy.
Dawa bora, mazao bora. What you plant is what you reap. And if from the onset dawa si bora, then definitely mazao si bora, because mazao is dependent on dawa. If we apply a good dawa, we are sure of good mazao and bump up harvest.
Advice on the kind of protective equipment to use when handling and storing pesticides to minimize exposure. As an agro dealer who is well versed with the proper use of pesticides, you should ensure that a farmer is aware of the safety procedures to follow when using a certain pesticide. Advise farmers on other IPM practices such as improved seed, fertility management, among other practices to reduce reliance on pesticides.
Integrated pest management, that is using all the methods that there are to ensure that you control your pest. You use all the tools that you have, whether they happen to be physical, like you are blocking the pest or the disease from coming to your farm. Like you can have barriers. Cultural ones, again, are also about excluding the pest or the disease. The other one is what we call biological. Amazingly, there are certain live organisms that feed on other live organisms. So in the biological control, you have a situation where an insect could be eating another insect. So you have the insect which is a good one, we call it a farmer's friend, or you have an insect which is the farmer's enemy, which is the pest. So basically you caused the farmer's friend to eat the enemy.
Other IPM techniques include crop rotation, intercropping, use of adequate fertilizer, and cultivation techniques. Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
A very warm welcome back to the final stretch, of course, of this conversation today we're having here on Weekend Review. This is AFarmers Media. Of course, this show has been hosted by yours truly, Brian Wendell, of course.
And yours faithfully, Deram Dega.
Yeah.
Not forgetting Mirara James.
James Mirara.
Yes.
Marara.
Joe Marara. I'm not in that side.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Now, in the previous hour, we did discuss about the high cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the talk was predominantly high cost of living.
Yeah.
Fuel prices, and of course, the feedback by the Ministry of Agriculture that they want your feedback. And now we get into a more hearty conversation that I'm sure is going to affect Mirara. Now, Kafo is going to look into, well, is aiming at cage-free eggs going forward. Now, Majid Al Futaim, no, that's not the parent farm of supermarket chain Carrefour, has committed to sell only cage-free eggs across its stores in the region under a newly signed animal welfare policy. The Dubai-based farm, which has store across Middle East, Africa, and Asia, says it is working towards 100% cage-free shell egg private label assortment across all markets it operates in by 2030. And all national brands by 2032. Under the new farm animal health and welfare policy, the farm says it seeks to promote alternative and more suitable and sustainable housing systems such as cage-free, outdoor access system, free-range system, and organic. Mirara, you're the best person to take over this conversation from here. What is cage-free?
Cage-free are those chicken that are not reared in a room that is enclosed. Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Mostly known as kienyeji, because we have that kind of mentality. Tunajua tu kienyeji zinaachiliwa. If you go in rural areas, you find those chickens asubuhi tu ndo zinafunguliwa. They run in the farm. They eat the worms, the shells, the small things. In the evening zinakuja zinafungiwa.
Let me ask you this. Of course, we've grown up, Diana, in a place where tumekuwa na kienyeji sana.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to pin this on breed as much, but then it's the art of rearing in specific. Unaweza kuwa na kienyeji na bado uweke kwa cage. You can still have the broiler and still leave it to hang around. But then, according to them, part of it is nutritional value that these eggs have. And that's the biggest problem that they have. That a caged chicken is having problems with the egg that it is, that is coming out and of course going into the market.
Yeah.
Do you think the farmers there right now who are doing cage versus free runs, do you think they can supply, they can meet the demand?
No, I don't think they can meet the demand. First, I think we can always accommodate. We can't just wake up in the morning and then say, we have decided that we're not going to do this anymore. Why don't we give them an alternative, an ultimatum like that? You guys, can you start doing this? Your eggs are lacking this and this. Can you do this for a certain period? If you're not going to meet our demands, then we are going to drop you.
Actually,
like, you have given us an ultimatum. Like kwanzia leo, because the eggs, I think, just say like 6 months, because a hen will start laying eggs preferably after, I think, 2 months, 8 weeks, like that. So mkiona bado standards zao ziko chini, then you can drop. You can say, now I gave you the chance to improve, you didn't.
But again, I'm saying that they've given us until 2030 a little bit. I think they've given us until 2030.
2030.
Yeah, they are 8 years still.
That's okay.
The best thing for us to understand as we are getting into this discussion, the caged free is not basically those that are left to be outside. You see, for me, like what I'm doing, I'm also in a cage free farming, because there is a battery called battery hen cage that is only one hen, they are like in a battery condition. But for caged free, they are roaming around that open house. You see, you don't have to like have the modernized kind of feeding, but they are also free.
The moment you cage, then you cannot say cage free or whatever. If your birds are not just going out looking out for themselves, then we cannot talk about.
But how sure are you with the security of these that are free?
The security, it doesn't mean that now you are just living. You as a farmer, you have fenced your home, your homestead. Now it means these birds are just going to roam in between that radius.
Not forgetting this is a bird.
Yeah, this is a bird.
I'm asking myself this, and I've seen cases of where farmers have also caged their chicken. Na venye kuku iliingia ndo itakufa ikiwa na face hivyo tu. You know?
So now that is different, right?
That's caging.
Yes.
That's absolutely caging. And my question is, are they against that in specific, or are they against it not coming out? Because as I can see, when I was researching the difference in structure, out on the cage free at some point, you can have a structure. You can have, of course, where mali zinalala na mali zinakulia, lakini still it's enclosed.
Yeah, that's a cage free.
That's cage free still.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You can have a cage free where they are roaming around or outside, but you can have a cage free where they are feeding here, but you're not controlling it as a battery.
So the main thing that you're against is the fact that you can have chicken that zile zenye zinaekwa kwa system, and it's really interesting how once you go to some of these places, you can go meet that hiyo kuku imeekwa in a way hata ijao na vumbi, inaishi juu ya nyingine na nyingine inaishi juu ya nyingine, and then kuku ina face tu mahali pamoja tu. It's never moving. And my question has always been, well, it was just a matter of time before, of course, policy will even come again, and advocacy of animal rights, because there's no way a chicken will just face one direction and it stays there until its whole entire life is done. That chicken might also translate stress through the product that it's giving. Don't you think so?
I think one of the things that people just underestimate is the fact that stress. Stress is something that transmits all through. Once the chicken is stressed, the quality of egg is completely different from that one that is free.
Yeah.
There's you can find that sometimes those chicken lay eggs that have a very soft shell, simply because they are stressed, not because they're not getting enough.
Yes.
Not because they're not getting the nutritional value of everything, but they're stressed.
Yes.
And just like there's something about chicken that people haven't really thought about it, or they have never researched about it. But there are some things that are about chicken, just like a human. Like they need that socialization. They can recognize faces. They are happy sometimes. But now you see, if you are caging them or making them face one direction, then how are we supposed to make sure that they are getting those? They're giving us eggs that are nutritionally when we have subjected them to stress. Stress is the key thing here. And once the hen is stressed, then the output or whatever it's going to give out, it's going to be of low quality. So I can't blame them when they're saying that maybe it's because of how they are reared. And then they were specifically that they are going to buy those eggs from the chickens that are reared under humane condition. Humane. What does that even mean? Like under conditions that are reasonable.
But it's still a bird. Let's not forget that it's still a bird. And of course, I'm even having a second impression about the whole scenario, because then, you know, hata mwenye ukiingizwa pale prison,
you're still caged.
You're still caged.
You see,
but you know, even a prison always have a place where people even interact still.
Yes.
You know
so
that?
The best thing with cage free, the bird is able to go stretch the wings, relax or bask on the sun, and it's not limited to getting sufficient or enough nutrients out there, because in the feeds that we are buying, mind you, they are not 100% supplied with the vitamins, with the calciums, and so on and so on. So when you're caging this bird, you have to ensure it's supplied 100% with the supplements it needs.
Even the sun,
even
sun is basic.
Sun play a bigger role even in your body. Because the formation of egg needs more of calcium and stuff. So when you cage this bird, you'll end up debeaking first thing, because this bird will one day eat the egg. You see, have you ever seen birds? The hen, even those like the doves. When you cage the dove, I've seen some doves eating their own eggs, not because it's norm, but they're lacking some some
necessary nutrients.
So when you cage a bird, at least know the vital supplement and vitamins, the supplements you'd produce. You need to give them. But once you cut off the supplements and the feeds, they're not with enough essential needs of this bird, then you're not doing a service to this bird.
Now, well, even as we end up on this one on specific, how do you transition? And this I even ask myself this question, and I will have to ask you. I've always asked myself the fact that did it reach a point where we took everything so seriously as a business that we do forget that, you know, an animal will never talk, will never communicate. You only see as a result. You know, if it's kama ni ng'ombe, ukiweka mali ng'ombe haitakataa, italala hapo tu, lakini still it's lacking something. And maybe at some point it will start screaming. That problem will start screaming on the body. But then before it gets there, some of the even maybe milk production will lower, and of course are we taking business so serious, agriculture more so, that we do forget even these animals do have a life? You know, they're birds, still a bird,
Yeah.
it's still an animal. Do you think maybe we overdo stuff, over provide solutions?
I think we do provide, we overdo or we overreact to situation, thinking maybe you're doing the right thing. Just like I've said that maybe most farmers don't even know that birds do undergo stress. That's why maybe they are not even like able to make it like care about them. That's why they'll cage there. They don't even meet the sun. They don't go out there roaming. So I think farmers have taken it too seriously, and now they are losing it, because if you are taking it too seriously, it means that you are going to make sure that there are certain conditions that are they are going to be met, and to meet these conditions, it means that these birds are not going to be roaming around. So I think taking it so seriously has really contributed to the fact that farmers are not able to think about the animal. There are programs back then. There was a time that a donkey was so much abused. Programs started popping up. Tunza punda kutunze, punda pia ni mnyama. Like there are those ones. But nowadays, do we even see any of those? Like people even forgot that the animals should be treated well. Apart from the video, I think apart from maybe Western countries, or the other continents, let me just say, let's say the continents, because you see they take animal protection very serious. Animal protection very, very serious. You saw the video that almost costed someone's career. You saw that video simply because he hit the cat, not because like they take animal protection very seriously. And there are those that chicken are pets, if you don't know. So people should really know that something that can be a pet, it means it has feelings. It can undergo stress. It can be sick. It can undergo all these things humans go. So I think if we revive the Animal Protection Act, Tunza punda, ng'ombe, like those cows unapatwa. I've seen today I saw these cows. Zimekuwa labeled. Na unajua zina labeliwanga na chuma moto. Yes, zimekuwa labeled. Zinatembea hizi hapa Kitengela hapa. Zimekuwa labeled na chuma moto. Zimeandikwa jina ya I think the owner, because all of them had been written a certain name. So I was like, really, does it have to go this far?
Do you think it's some level of ignorance, misinformation?
You see, I'd use a cat because I have cats in my place. And these cats, I take them as my daughters, as my sons. And once you treat this animal well, then definitely you come into understanding it's also a creature. Let me put it that way. It's also a creature. And it's created in a unique way that it will understand you. But once you start mistreating it, then you will see the other side of it. Same as human. When I start joking around with what you don't like, or I started abusing or mistreating you, you'd react back. The same thing with animals. You see, a bird is a bird, but if you mistreat it, it will start like swaying away or flying away.
Okay.
You get? The same thing happens to all animals. Like Dana, she's saying, why would you go to that extent of hitting a metal and stamping a cow? You see, it's so demeaning to that cow.
Yeah.
It's good you apply some paints or on the forehead than burn that cow.
Of course,
Yeah.
So, of course, I remember you did post something yesterday about a chicken remembering more than 100 faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, it does remember. It shows that it has some I would say some instinct, and it has I would say it's built in a way that it's not so far away from you as a human. Maybe it doesn't talk, but then it does feel.
Actually, it has its natural language.
I'll tell you.
It has its natural language that it can, it communicates, and it means specific. Just go read more about fun facts about chicken. You'll be surprised.
I'll tell you for a fact, Brian. If you enter in my chicken house, they will panic at first. But if I enter, they will come close. That's how chicken react.
They do remember.
They do remember me.
Ushaipigwa na jogo yo. Ushaikimbizwa na jogo. Ikupige tu hadi ukimbie kabisa ukimbie.
Why? No, I've never seen that, but I've heard about that.
Wait. We have a certain a cock back in my place. If you just dare cross our homestead, it will be with you. Kwambia utakimbia.
I've remembered I was once chased by a duck.
Yes.
Now ducks now.
You see,
duck
I was with the owner, but it didn't chase the owner. But for me, I was chased.
Are you talking about duck or turkey? Have you been chased with that?
A duck, a geese. Is it goose or geese?
I've been chased by a turkey.
The one with the large nini.
The black one with the red.
And
Man, by even looking at it. The last thing you want to
that's
see.
just a bad like a hen.
You see,
look at it.
Yeah.
Why
see?
didn't they if you
actually Ataki will remember the second time you facing with it. I have an uncle, he has turkeys, but once I visit him, the turkey remembers. You see, but if I stay for long, it can't. It have to be like starting to brood. Inalia vibaya, unaona hii kitu itanichapa. Vile anasema ni kweli, jogoo pia inaweza kuchapa.
Inakupiga vibaya sana. Tena inapigana venye inapigana na jogoo wengine, so you're like what?
Kwanza ina time uso inakuja na kugonga.
So,
see,
animals have instincts.
They do remember.
They do remember for sure, and I think that's the part where farmers are not really keen to make sure that they are being treated.
I think farmers should stop treating livestock farming as cash crop farming.
Yeah,
they should know the difference. Yeah.
Can I interest you by the way? Well, if you we've been there with you.
Yeah.
If you get into a piggery or pigsty, you and you want to play around with the pigs, one does remember you, one doesn't. In terms of if you get in, it's not gonna waste its time. Itakaa tu itakuja kuangalia lakini iende. Lakini kama imeniona, does remember. And this was confirmed some time back when I did read that a pig is like a 2-year-old kid. The ability to remember and absorb, he does.
Yeah.
Do you know why a kid always remembers you? By the soundtracks.
Yeah.
They can remember that.
Yeah.
They do remember that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure once madhe angekuwa mbali ama mzee karibu na nyumbani,
ongea tu.
You're not going to confuse.
Yeah.
No, that's
yeah,
them.
That's them. That's my
Absolutely.
mom.
That's your mom right there.
Mukoro.
Exactly. And of course, it's the same thing with animals. They do remember, and how you treat them is very important.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why CAFO might be looking towards that direction is because maybe it's not being seen. You know, as the thing that I was saying, it's now screaming that these animals are under stress.
Yeah.
Because now, if you're venturing into, I was thinking of venturing into chicken farming.
And also, people have gone so much into the grade part of it and forgetting the other. We should also integrate.
Okay.
I think.
Can you improve something?
Yeah, we should integrate. I've seen a farmer who does 300 plus.
It's never the same. I have those improved. I have the everything like although mine now they're just roaming around.
Actually,
their egg is very different. Even the way the outlook, you can just tell this is an improved Kenyedi, this is a Kenyedi.
The egg by itself.
There is a time.
The stance, the way they are, like they are clean. Yani, kuna tu yani usafi fulani iko kwa improved kitchen. Unaona mtoto mwenye amezaliwa mzungu Mwafrika. You can tell actually
Uni half caste.
It's a improved breed.
They call it chotara. I think chotara. So you can tell this one huyu ni baba yake ni different races, African maybe and then a European.
Okay.
And then kwa chicken ya kawaida now you can tell this is African.
Actually the Elgeyo are doing that. The improved breed. Actually they are being given by the county government. And they are given also the supplement. We did a review the other weekend with Diana. Actually you can check our 2 weeks back review on the weekend. We did a very deep research on that, and it's something that I think when she's telling you the difference between that, it's true. You know the difference in eggs and also in behavior of the chicken.
And of course, well, we have our final story. Might be a good one, might be a bad one for different people. Mango lovers, of course. If you're a fan of mangoes, well, I think it would be a good and wise idea to rush to the market because the mango season is close to over. And of course, well, if it's off season, it means that some of the mangoes will be a little bit expensive. Now, as the peak season for mangoes is almost ending, mango prices are expected to shoot from the current farm price of 6 shillings, of course, which is being bought right now, one mango 6 shillings per fruit, to in between 10 shillings and 15 shillings come April. That's next month. Currently, 126 kilograms of bag is selling at 2,600 shillings in Nairobi and Mombasa. Single mangoes were harvested in February 2022. There was a decline in the market prices. Currently at an average of 2,300 shillings across the country. Now that's a difference of 300 shillings. Since since it did start and right now how things are, mango prices usually go in between 15 shillings and 20 shillings per fruit during off season. Remember that. Remember that. And I'm sure we have experienced that. Mangoes are very expensive off season. Some retailers even sell at 40 and 50 shillings depending on the size of the fruit and the region. Well, let me ask you a very basic question. Did you enjoy the season?
I did.
How many mangoes have you been taking a day?
You've also been taking some. So if I'm not taking a mango, maybe I've blended the juice from the mango fruit.
So mango has been a day, kila siku kama ibada.
You know, when we say take a fruit after every meal, I think I do that.
Yeah, and mangoes have high fiber content.
Yeah, so, and it helps in digestions also. So I think I would distress myself when I'm seeing such information because I know I'll be affected somehow.
Okay. Diana, did you enjoy your season?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed since 2015. 2015 actually, I became pregnant, and I tell you, mango was everything to me.
You're craving.
Like morning nikiamka mango, Sunday mango. Actually, I thought I'll give birth to a mango. I ate mangoes, and actually that is the only fruit that has never, like, hata iwe nini, I'll always pick a mango.
Always a mango?
Always a mango. Like even other fruits, no, but I'll always, I think that just a nutritional value, and then it doesn't have complications. See, someone with ulcers cannot eat, cannot take oranges. Yeah. Because of that, the acidity part of it.
Okay.
But mangoes, I think they are regulated, a bit regulated, so that they don't have a lot of acids. So anyone can take them. But if you have, if you get to take an orange, and then you have ulcers, then you are done for.
Yeah.
So, and then same thing to, I think, pineapple. So I think mango is the one that has limited acid, so anyone can take them. So I think I've really enjoyed I'll really be affected when it's going to be off season. Actually, yesterday I was so heartbroken. I went to take.
I'm not alone.
I was so broken because this particular woman who sells for me. Nilipata zenye ziko zimejikunja sijini za last week.
But I have always asked myself this. Why will you be selling? And you know, this is somewhere, well, I need somebody to tell me because I've never seen the sense in that. Mbona ungekuwa unauza maembe yenye imekunjana na uso? Who do you want to sell to?
I think when the buyers or those who are doing the retail of mangoes, they don't want to lower the price, not to outdo the market, but they want to see their stock run out or complete. But now my question is, should someone wait until they shrink?
I think that is even
because
the best for the juice. Actually, they are targeting those people who make juices because now these one have overripe. So it is the best when it comes to juice. But if I don't have a blender, then it's not of any use to use.
You've bought some of these mangoes and you try them. They're never bad inside?
No, they're okay. They're okay. They're actually overripe, so they are good. Actually, they say that if you think your mangoes will be rotten by tomorrow, just look for someone, then make a juice out of it because they're overripe.
Oh.
So those ones that are shrinking, they are good for those people. You'll just, if I pass there today, it will not be there, and she will not have thrown it away. If it was never sold, she has used herself to make the juice. And
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, well, some of the benefits that Mirara, you've always enjoyed eating a mango every day. And of course, Diana here, it's rich in protective antioxidants. That means that plant chemicals, mangoes are good source of protective antioxidants. Plant chemicals that include gallotanesis and whatever. Of course, these have been studied. Ability to counter the oxidants stress associated with day-to-day living and exposure of toxins. And of course, that means that in case you have any inflammations, it's always good for you. And of course, aims in it helps in digestions. It has high fiber content. May help maintain healthy skin and hair. That's really interesting.
Beards.
Yeah. Right there. And I think it's one of the reasons so Mirara has always been proud
What
with
are you
what you
saying
can
about
see.
those people who don't have beards?
I'm not against them. They are
But
sisters.
are you trying to say that? They're your sisters. Wow, guys.
If I talk about beards, then you say it promotes growth of beards. Because
it helps.
I have someone that the beards are not really appealing.
You see,
and every time we talk about beards, he gets so personal.
There are a lot of
it
myths.
gets a little bit personal, right?
Yes.
The problem with beards, it comes with a lot of myths. Because like mines are natural.
Okay.
You see.
So
and
you
also
just need to stimulate them.
Not to stimulate them, know how to control them. Because at times they grow so much.
Don't they itchy? Don't they
For
get
mine,
itchy?
they don't get itchy.
I think.
You know what I hate the most? The one that has been shaved and then it has started growing.
The one that. But I think that's why you need to have some mangoes around. Of course, may help in heart diseases. And of course, well, these are studies that have been done way before. And also may support your health. Your eye health. So I don't know, maybe I need to ongeza my intake for mangoes.
On the glasses.
No, but again, Mirara.
Hey, it takes a lot of them, but and then
You see,
I only see you two taking mangoes, but again, you two, do they deviate?
You see, if maybe we started late. Maybe we started late because also when you take carrots, we also eat carrots. But I think for eyes, maybe we ask the opticians now the problem with.
But again, maybe that's the reason also we have not changed our lenses for the last months or years.
You are becoming better.
I think every day there's always a season of mangoes. It's always a day to rejoice. Of course, thank you very much for being part of this conversation. Do you have some final words on this? Actually, on the mango issue, we've talked about the eating aspect. But then let me ask you, some areas that do well in mangoes are more of the semi-arid areas, because somebody told me that the tougher the journey, the sweeter the outcome. You know, and how do you help these farmers now look into off-season? Because off-season means it does pick some good prices. But then off-season means more investment.
I think the farmer now from arid areas, they should start checking on which the cash crops now or other alternative to get back to the market, because you cannot rely on mango for like a period of 6 months now, because off market means you're off to market for like 6 to 7 months. When was the last mango season? You need to check. It was about May last year. That's when it ended. So now come this year, you see it have ended earlier. So the farmer need to venture into another business. Maybe fully he was depending on the mango.
Okay.
No, what next?
Let me ask you about the same thing. If a mango can even fetch 50 bob at the retail, at the last person who is going to buy it and even going to sell it, 50 bob. I'm trying to think that even a farmer who is doing off season can leverage on the market early enough, in that they can plant, they can specify in maybe irrigation and make sure that they have mangoes for off season market,
like the constant supply.
Constant supply. And then remember your story where the market is of course inflating prices by itself.
Yes.
You know, do instead of selling through intermediaries, you can think about how about some value addition about it. You can convert to mango juice. Apart from that, you can even take to the market by yourself.
You see, when you
No,
brought
the market itself, if you have an expert, Mr. No will tell you for free. There is no that direct link from from the seller to the consumer.
True.
There is no link to that. He can testify to that, because there was a time he was telling, I was telling a story in the breakfast, and he was saying there was a time he took a whole capsicum, is a hoho, to the market. Reaching there, he was told you can't sell it here. You have to follow the chain. Now that is the problem. Like,
Then
I don't think
I'm thinking you're following the chain. Yes, you're following the
which
chain.
chain are you following? You are following because you have to follow through the
middleman.
brokers.
That's the only chain that we're talking about.
Yes.
But then if you're going to follow that chain, to what extent do you supply? Because again, part of the chain is not going through every middleman. You know, you can break a little bit of it. If somebody comes and buys from you and takes it to the other broker now, you know, okay, I'll tell you the reason as to why they don't let farmers sell directly. The reason is you're going to come for maybe one season and then go off season, and then you'll be coming back. But then the broker will always ensure that the market demand
It's constant.
still constant.
Yeah.
Now,
I think they play a very major role that people tend just
exactly.
to see the negative
Yes.
rather than the positive.
Yes. Yeah.
These people ensure that there's a constant supply. Mimi napiga simu nakwambia nataka sukuma. I
Yeah.
don't care where you're getting them.
Yeah.
You bring it to me
Yeah.
and they
Bring
will
it.
deliver.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also, when you brought the fact that maybe the irrigation part of it,
Okay.
I think we can bring a topic we had with Mr. Noah of intercropping.
Okay.
I think a mango trees goes to around 1.5 feet high or 1 feet. So you can intercrop with something else. Yeah. So it's not just depending on a mango.
Okay.
On mango, sorry.
Of course.
Yeah. So intercrop with maybe something that it's going for 3 months, 2 months. Yeah.
Okay. Of course. All this week on Drive Show, we've been talking about before starting a business, what's very important. And of course, if you're looking into the off season of mangoes, I think it will be right for you to study everything, how the market looks, what you need apart from the irrigation. You know, many farmers always look, oh, okay, I can look into irrigation. Hii nyingine sinajua venye ukua. And maybe that time when there's no rain, the sun is scorching and might even affect the crop by itself. So you need to look everything 100% diversify in one specific species or one market that you want to supply, and then how you can meet the demand. Wow. Any last words from this conversation today?
Just keep watching AFarmers Media. We have so much for you, so just keep it AFarmers Media.
Okay. Did you just wink?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Continue doing the research as we talked yesterday.
Yes.
Don't forget. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Continue being the farmer.
Exactly.
Feeding the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dana, you said you eat so many mangoes, right?
Yes.
That's why it's always easy for you here to come and light kidogo. Well, again, I see that's another secret that we need to learn from her. But again, thank you very much for tuning in here on the Weekend Review Show, which has been hosted by me, of course. He was truly Brian Munda, and of course,
Yours faithfully, Dana Mdega.
yes,
Mr. Mirara here.
Mr. Mirara, thank you very much for sharing your experience, your insights about the same thing. Thank you very much for also watching, and of course, you can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our content, because these and more will always happen every day of the week. And of course, on the weekend, week in review, of course.
Yeah.
So until next week on Monday, we say continue consuming information, because the difference between you and the successful farmer you want to be is information. Until next week, have a lovely weekend ahead.